This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, for May 15, 2023, triple murder rocks the West, tougher policing measures coming. Following a scary week of bloodletting across western Jamaica, with 14 persons being shot and killed and one stabbed to death, Deputy Commander of the St. James Police Division, Superintendent Aaron Samuels, says several new measures will be put in place to quell the lawlessness. Samuels, who was a part of the security team that toured several crime-plagued communities across the region with National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang on Saturday, said he was aware of the latest killings. 3 bullet-riddled bodies found along a roadway in Zion community near Barrett Town, St. James on Saturday night. He, however, had no details to provide on the matter. According to reports, about 10 p.m. on Saturday, a motorist stumbled upon the 3 unidentified bodies, all males, and summoned the police. On the arrival of the police, it was discovered that all 3 victims, who appeared to be young men, possibly in their 20s, were shot multiple times. About 31 spent shell casings were retrieved at the scene. None of the men had any form of identification on them. Anthony Murray, the counsel for the Rose Hall Division in East Central St. James, where Mount Zion is located, said while the men were unidentified, the fact that they turned up dead in that area is a cause for concern. Well, to be frank with you, the Rose Hall Division has been very calm in recent times as it relates to murders, so news of 3 murders in the community is of great concern to me, Murray told the news. Mount Zion is not one of the areas known for violent crimes, and to see what took place last night is really of concern. During his visit to Mount Salem on Saturday, Chang said the persons behind the violence were the remnants of gangs which were displaced when the nation's first zone of special operations was declared in the community in 2017. He expressed the confidence that the police can quickly restore calm. In Hanover, the conflict there was blamed on feuding by rival gangs over the spoils of lottery scamming. 2 of the main suspects in a recent double murder are now in custody. Frightened, the Mount Salem residents say Zozo has failed them. Frightened by last week's brazen double murder, which was quickly followed by the killing of a popular meat shop operator and other shooting incidents, some residents of Mount Salem St. James are worried that the zone of special operations, which has been in place since 2017, is no longer protecting them from bloodthirsty gangsters. The troublemakers who ran away when the Zozo was declared are now back in the community, and they are the ones driving the violence, a resident who asked not to be identified told news during Saturday's tour of the community by National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang, Area 1 Commander Assistant Commissioner of Police Clifford Chambers, and the St. James Commander Senior Superintendent Vernon Ellis. I believe a big mistake was made in 2017 when the Zozo was declared. They should have locked down the entire community and searched every single house. Had they done that, the troublemakers would not have been able to hide what they hid and run away. But they did, and now they are back here killing people again. However, unlike the residents, Chang, who once lived in the community, believes that for the most part, the Zozo has been successful, despite his concern about the recent murders, which are primarily acts of reprisal by the remnants of gangs that had been displaced as a part of the crime-fighting initiative. The Zozo is not failing, but this situation is of deep concern, said Chang, in response to the fear now gripping the community. Every murder is a tragedy, and we are going to ask the police to do whatever is necessary to find the perpetrators. The zone of special operations is designed to restore a level of calm, which it did. We have had less than 10 murders over the 6 going into 7 years. This is the first one in about 8 months, continued Chang. What it reflects is the original concept is still there that will bring peace. When we clear, we hold and we build. He added, in the build phase, there are still remnants of the older criminal elements. We have indicated that the policy of the government is to separate the violence producers and the gangsters, disrupt the gangs from the community, and that has happened in Mount Salem. But we are seeing young men who were a part of those gangs are still in the space, and there is this continued propensity for violence. Like Chang, Chambers believes that the Zozo is working and that it is the fruit of the Zozo that is allowing the police to get pertinent information on the gangsters who the police are working to separate from the community. From a policing standpoint, it is clear that the zone of operations is working. When you look at the statistical figures in terms of murders, shootings, and the major crimes, it is clear that it is working. The issue that might create a problem, as the minister mentioned, is the shootings, the murders, the double murder that might tend to influence one's affairs, and that is something we have to deal with, said Chambers. As law enforcement, we would want the community to cooperate. There are levels of cooperation. The information we are getting is giving us good results. The community is cooperating, and we are getting good support, said Chambers, in noting that they have been getting strong leads, which are putting the gangsters in their crosshairs. Holness welcomes the UN Secretary General. Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Gutierrez, is now in the island on a 2-day working visit for what Prime Minister Andrew Holness has described as important discussions. The UN Secretary General arrived in the island yesterday afternoon and leaves today. Holness and Gutierrez will hold bilateral talks on several issues, including Jamaica's lead role in mediating the situation in Haiti and how to involve the international community. The two leaders will also discuss the impact of the climate crisis in the Caribbean and the upcoming midterm review of the global framework for disaster risk reduction. Jamaica's leadership in efforts to reform the global financial architecture so that developing countries, including middle-income countries, can restructure and sustainably manage debt as well as technology and finance at affordable rates to invest in growth, inclusive, sustainable development will also be on the agenda. We are pleased that the Secretary General will visit at the pivotal juncture. I look forward to the engagement and the fruitful discussion on critical matters which Jamaica stands ready to be a critical partner, said Holness. Jamaica and Canada are co-chairs of the Group of Friends of SDG Financing and co-convener of the Secretary General's Financing for Development in the Era of COVID-19 and Beyond initiative. Passerby pretends to be relative, then robs a crash victim of valuables. The St. Mary police have been left in shock and disbelief after a man who pretended to be the relative of a crash victim stole his valuables, including a cell phone, which he used to call relatives of the victim the same day. The shocking incident occurred on the Boscobel Main Road on Tuesday after 51-year-old Nixon Bernard lost the control of his Toyota Voxy motorcar, which ended up hitting an embankment. To the dismay of the police, a passerby came on the scene, pretended to be Bernard's relative, and left with some of his belongings. It just goes to show the level of callousness that is in the society, said head of the St. Mary Police, Superintendent Bobette Morgan Simpson, as she addressed Thursday's meeting of the St. Mary Municipal Corporation. She highlighted the shocking incident in her remarks at the meeting, during which she also expressed alarm at the number of crashes that have been reported in the parish since the start of the year. In relation to Tuesday's fatal crash, Morgan Simpson said the victim had left a party which he staged when tragedy occurred on the roadway. In this particular accident, the gentleman had a party the same night and he was on his way home, met in the accident, was unconscious, and somebody actually went there, identified himself as a relative, took the money, departed, took his phone, made a telephone call to somebody to say that he was injured, and that's it, the senior law enforcer outlined. She lamented that the passerby didn't care about the man who was there, that probably he was still alive and might need help to get medical care. That was seemingly not important, and we have seen so many incidents where persons are really just for what they can get, Morgan Simpson indicated. The police are trying to locate the individual. Meanwhile, Morgan Simpson said up to Wednesday, some 119 motor vehicle crashes were recorded in St. Mary. Of the number, 8 resulted in fatalities. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.